Former Prime Minister Sali Berisha met the leader of Kosovo's Vetëvendosja party, Albin Kurti, with whom he discussed the situation in Kosovo and the debate on changing the borders with Serbia, declaring it an act that destabilises the region. The Democratic Party accused the government of reducing the compensation fund for the formerly politically persecuted. Meanwhile, Saliani accused that the police have released arrested criminals by the order of politicians. 20 schools with collective classes will not open their doors on September 17 in Lushnja, while 13 are at risk of being shut down in Kukës because of the low number of students. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday the 8th of September 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Former Prime Minister Sali Berisha, in discussing the proposal to change the borders between Serbia and Kosovo, stated that he considers it to be one of the most destabilising acts of the region. After a meeting with the leader of Vetëvendosja, Albin Kurti, Berisha said that he has never heard any state or international to question the borders of Kosovo in his entire career. In every document, including all UN resolutions, such as Resolution 94, which recognises Kosovo's right to self-determination, the Rambouillet document, Ahtisaari's document, the document proclaiming Kosovo's independence, the Hague Tribunal document, and all else, Kosovo has been recognised according to its current borders, explained Sali Berisha. The issue of the Kosovo border, according to Berisha, has neglected all the real problems that exist, and that should be resolved by Pristina and Belgrade through dialogue. We are fully engaged in the process of dialogue. We have supported and will support the dialogue, but all that has been done has left 30 unfulfilled agreements in mind, has left thousands lost in oblivion, and when you look closely, you see that some gangs in North Mitrovica seem to work in unison with Belgrade's governors and their hostages in Pristina, added Sali Berisha. The former Prime Minister describes the situation as dramatic, calling on citizens and MPs of Kosovo to end this. He stressed that no one has the authority to put the issue of territorial integrity of the Republic of Kosovo on the table. There is not 1 centimetre of land in Kosovo that was a gift from Tito or from Rankovic or from anyone else. Rather, if we refer to history, not blindly or according to the Belgrade version, but the true story, the borders of Kosovo were actually bigger than they are today, but we leave this to history. The current borders of the Republic of Kosovo are the borders, affirmed Sali Berisha. The ambition of Great Serbia, according to Berisha, poses a serious threat to peace and stability in the Balkans. Berisha also said that this idea was presented to him by Vuk Drašković, while today it is being presented as an Albanian idea. In reality, this is an idea from Belgrade, previously posed to me in Thessaloniki by Vuk Drašković. It has been repeatedly proposed and categorically declined by official Tirana and also by official Pristina. And now it comes as if it was an Albanian idea. This is a Serbian idea which no Albanian should support, concluded Sali Berisha. Apparently, election campaign fever has made the officials of the Socialist Party give up on classical protocol clothing. Ministers, MPs, mayors, even the Speaker of the Parliament presented themselves with trainers, following the trend of their leader, Prime Minister Edi Rama. A day after the National Assembly, the SP convened its presidency to formalise the decisions taken a day earlier. During the meeting, which lasted about 30 minutes, they focused on next year's local elections. Prime Minister Rama has acquainted the new secretaries with their duties and has ordered ministers and deputies to go on the ground for meetings with citizens. Meanwhile, the mayors of the SP municipalities will undergo a thorough analysis of their duties. Mayors and all municipal teams will be in the territory to meet with citizens and to listen to the issues in each administrative unit of Albania, and then an analysis will be conducted on local government across territories, said SP MP Elisa Spiropali. Although it was expected that the SP presidency would make a decision to dismiss Corbyn's deputy, Jetan Jetani, Elisa Spiropali said that the issue was closed at the Assembly and there was nothing to discuss in the presidency. It was discussed yesterday at the Assembly, and after the departure of journalists, we certainly had a formal voting process for all decisions of the National Assembly. We refuse to become part of the politics of the day. The opposition apparently has the parliamentary battle determined from the 5-star hotels in the cities of Albania. We are determined that our battle in the Socialist Party, along with the parliamentary group and the government, will focus on the citizens and only the citizens, said Elisa Spiropali. At the end of the meeting, Prime Minister Rama decided to take a walk and enjoy conversation with the parliamentary speaker, Gramos Rucci. The Democratic Party accused the government of hitting the former politically persecuted and convicted communists by reducing their funds for compensation. The Democratic Party MP Enkeled Alibay charged the Prime Minister, Edi Rama, of shifting money available away from the politically persecuted to the corrupt tenders that he gives to his family and friends. Edi Rama hits the formerly politically persecuted and communists condemned by reducing the compensation fund and making the money available to corrupt concessions and public-private partnerships that he gives to his family and friends. The law ignores the rules of inheritance, instead providing those funds that are intended for the family members to the state budget, allowing the money to be used for Edi Rama's corrupt tenders. The law deforms the compensation distribution mechanism by removing the floor and by defining it in its place the 1 million LEC compensation ceiling. Likewise, the law opens the door to the government to review remedies received by the persecuted, meaning that the persecuted and family members who are indemnified should panic that the government may decide to return or reduce the indemnity, charged Enkeled Alibay. Meanwhile, in another media statement for the security of the country, the Democratic Party accused police today of being betrayed by a criminal segment within the Interior Ministry. Ervin Saliani denounced a case in the Leisure district where, according to him, persons arrested for illegal possession of weapons were released by political orders. For the exchange of fire in Leisure, crime has trumped the force of law. The criminals were released following a phone call from the ministry headed by Fatmir Jafai, who refuses to be subjected to vetting despite the requirement for his police officer subjects. After this phone call from the powerful, who do not want vetting in politics, the firearms are turned into toys and the criminals into respectable citizens. This is the situation faced by those policemen who fight crime every day. This is the betrayal of the police force, whom are surrounded not only by crime, but also by its allies in the government. Therefore, it is vital to adopt as soon as possible the second phase of decriminalisation, which will purify the government from crime, said Ervin Saliani. According to the Democratic Party, vetting in politics is vital for the liberation of the government from crime. More schools offering collective classes in the Lushnia district will not be opening their doors for the new 2018-2019 school year because of the low number of students, a result of mass migration and domestic movement. The closures do not only affect deep mountainous areas but also some schools in the peripheries of Lushnia. Director of Education Brunilda Damo says that students will be accommodated in the nearest schools and transport guaranteed. In Lushnia, there are currently about 31 subordinate schools in which they teach children with collective classes. In about 20 subordinate schools, 30 collective classes will be closed, where they teach children of different age groups. Instead, they will be sent to the nearest schools where the teaching is done in normal classrooms, said Brunilda Damo. The 9-year school of Zjana will host this new school year the students of Balai, Skilai and Muriz. Last year, the Muriz subordinate school had 8 pupils, while in Balai of Skilai there were 4 pupils with collective classes and only 1 teacher for each school, explained Brunilda Damo. Meanwhile, in Kukas, there are 13 schools with collective classes that are also at risk of closure. The most vulnerable are those in villages, where the number of students is smaller and the schools in poor physical condition. But the centralisation of schools is not welcomed by the students' parents. I do not agree. Why do our children have to leave the village when there is a school here and we have a teacher? I have 3 children and I want them to stay here, said one parent. Faced with this parental claim, the director of the Regional Education Directorate in Kukas, Skender Ahmetai, says that the goal is to guarantee a better educational process. This is due to the decrease in the number of students from the 6th to the 9th grade. The number in many schools is just 5 to 12 students, which makes it impossible to develop the educational process, said Skender Ahmetai. Following the orders of the Ministry of Education, the district education departments have started community meetings to inform them about the closure of schools offering only collective classes. This September, as has been the case for the past 5 years, the shores of Shkodra Lake saw the launch of the annual triathlon, a competition that is composed of swimming, cycling and running. The City Hall and Albania Water Sport extended the demographical map of the participants, not only in regards to their ages, but also the places they come from. The aim of the organisers is the touristic, sportive and cultural promotion of Shkodra, and at the same time maintaining an early tradition that the city has with water sports. The racing itinerary itinerary was divided with the swimming race of 750 metres, starting from the centre of Shiroka, followed by the 10 kilometres of cycling and 5 kilometres of running. In the end, prizes were awarded to the best, leaving the activity for next year as an opportunity to promote and also engage young people in sport. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and have a lovely weekend.